Now, I know this one is dear to your heart, The Axe Handle Saturday, 50 Years Later, another wonderful documentary of this event that a lot of local people have no idea even happened, and yet it was a very important event for civil rights here in Jacksonville.
And it is a Jacksonville Historical Society production, but there were certainly people and entities instrumental in this. The writer-producer Bill Rutherford, along with the production by Rich Connor and Gary Saltzgiver. They were really all masterful, and Bill certainly led that charge, Bill Rutherford.
You had actually got a grant,
yes,
did you not, to record those oral histories and kind of led to this film?
That's true. I wrote the grant actually to the Florida Humanities Council. So a big thank you goes out to Florida Humanities Council. They are among the leaders in coming up with innovative ways for us to save our Florida history. And when I wrote the grant, they loved the project, and then there was an opportunity to take the oral histories to this documentary, all within a very short window. And once again, Florida Humanities Council embraced the idea and the alteration to the grant project. So what resulted was a documentary that's been shown multiple times on WJCT. And it's been shown to school groups and organizations all over the city. So wide coverage in an event that so few people seem to remember. This day in city history, August of 1960, August 27th, 1960, when a group of students who were simply sitting in at the lunch counters downtown in order for the right to be served, were met.
Kind of a silent protest.
Yeah, and it was a silent, peaceful protest. Were met by men in Hemming Park wielding axe handles, baseball bats, and this documentary is about that incident. And a lot of fresh video and photographs were uncovered. So this was a really rare document that was shown.
Yeah, I think we're hoping to maybe show this as a lunch and learn with the city. I think that a lot of people would be, both this one and the Hollywood East film, I think a lot of people would get a lot out of seeing those.
And now we're at a new category altogether. This is for a preservation project. And these are always fun, you know, something that really is brand new to the city. And talk about this first one, the Kings Road Marker Project.
Yes, this was actually a marker that had been taken out of Hemming Plaza and was kind of in the basement of the old Armory building, and the Recreation Department with the city had moved out of this building and found this in the bottom, and so the hunt became, you know, where should it go? And a group of people got together, the Garden Club of San Marco and the Public Works Department and the Recreation Department, and found a location at the Kings Road Park, and it was relocated there. And it's one of those things that they could have just put it in there and forgotten about it, and the workers from Public Works really made a point to make this something that could be that they were proud of. And there was some landscaping that went in, and they raised it up where you could actually see it. It wouldn't be so short, and so it's a very nice feature for that park now.
And you know, a lot of people don't realize that the first road coming into Florida was the Kings Road, and it was built during the British period, so between 1763 and 1783, and there was no Jacksonville, Florida at the time. So our most historic initial, that was the first road, the most historic of all, much of it gone today, obviously.
And again, we recognize two City of Jacksonville departments, both the Recreation and Community Services Department and the Public Works Department that were involved, the San Marco Garden Circle, and the original, the people that put together the marker, the American Society of Civil Engineers.
And the next project?
This is a podcast walking tour, piece of technology tying with history. In celebration of the Riverside Avondale neighborhood being classified as one of the top 10 neighborhoods, they put together this walking tour that starts at the Arts Market down at the Fuller Warren Bridge and takes you through Memorial Park and hits a number of key locations around the Riverside neighborhood, and you'll hear it's something you download. It's totally free, and you can walk at your leisure. I think it's like between 1 and 2 hours, depending on your pace. And you'll hear a little bing, and it will give you a picture, maybe a historic picture of the site, or just a little bit of background information. And it's you have the audio going on the whole time that you're walking around, and it's great. You can do it on a bike.
Lisa, if somebody wants to download this, what site do they go to? Just walking to a Riverside?
They would go to the Riverside Avondale, I believe it's riversideavondale.org.
Okay.
I think it's .org or .com, and there's a place where you can download it from there.
So go to the Riverside Avondale website. You can download the great free walking tour from there. That's perfect. And now we're going to the restoration of the original front doors of the Kaler Apartments, and this is by noted, those doors are by noted architect Henry Clouthier. Oh, I'm sorry, you know what? We did, please give credit where credit is due for that walking tour. Did we do that? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, this went to the Riverside Avondale Preservation, and Jean Marie and Richard Grimsley. Jean put together a lot of the walking tour and does some of the commentary on it, and her husband Richard actually helped finance it, so it was a free thing that the public can enjoy.
Okay, and now to the renovated front doors, and this is a great project by a group of local citizens.
Yes, and it's designed, not dined, by Henry John Clouthier.
Okay.
Basically, this was a building, all of the old photographs show these great doors on, it's got two, it's a corner lot, so it's got two entrances, and they had kind of disappeared at some point, and Mary Monroe, who was living in the building and involved with the condominium association, was kind of curious as what could have happened, and they just speculated that when air conditioning came to the building that there was no need for these screen doors because it was a screen door situation, and that they probably got tossed into the trash. And lo and behold, a little while later they found them in the basement and doing a clean out, and they needed some work. It could have easily been dismissed. There's no reason to have a screen door on this building at this point, but they knew that it was an important feature, and it being an important work by Henry John Clouthier, they went ahead and restored them, and they've got wonderful detail. You can tell how it contributes to the overall structure. And this is the bar that part of the hardware of the door that's now been, both of them, restored and put back on the building. Small project, but a really big impact for the overall integrity of the structure.
And I love the enthusiasm those residents showed for this project. Kudos to them. That was terrific. Absolutely. At the
it was
Kaler
great to honor them.
Yes. Now, the Make It Happen Preservation Project, we're going to take a look at this, and then we'll have a short break. Go ahead with that.
This is a really cool project, and they actually did a little video to kind of tell this story right after it happened. There was a group of citizens over in Springfield that were very concerned because there had been a number of demolitions that were happening in their neighborhood, and they hated to see these structures being lost, and so they really called out. They reached out to the historic staff where I work, my local, or the commission that I support, the neighborhood organization, just all kinds of citizens, and said, what can we do? And it was really a workshop type of meeting, and in the end they decided that the best approach was to actually do something. I mean, physically get out there and make a difference. And they found this house owned by Miss Maggie, as she's called, that was in dire need of help. It was probably, next one on the list as far as code enforcement, just because there were so many issues. And, just in a situation where she couldn't handle it all. And so they were like, do you mind if we pitch in as a community and help you out? And a couple weeks she agreed, and a couple weeks later you had, I think, between 50 and 60 people from the neighborhood show up, completely, just donating their time and energy, and I think all of the supplies were donated as well, and just spent a weekend fixing up this structure, and in the end, what a wonderful aftershoot, and she was obviously thrilled, and they're really trying to keep up these projects going forward, a couple of year to kind of keep that good effort going. And of course, who we're recognizing for this project is Preservation SOS. their new name, which is Save Our Springfield.
And Lisa, we've decided we have so much more. We're not going to take a break, and we're going to move into the preservation service.
Great. We had 3 in this category. The first one was an individual, Carolyn Williams, who's been involved with the Historical Society, my local Preservation Commission. She's a professor at UNF, and she's written 2 books. She's also been involved with the Durkeeville Historical Society, or putting together their center, and also with the Norman Studios that we spoke of earlier.
Kudos to Carolyn, wonderful protector of Jacksonville history. And now we're moving on to the 50th anniversary of the Cummer Museum of Art and Gardens.
Yeah, occasionally for our preservation awards, we just like to recognize significant birthdays, and one this year was the Cummer Gallery of Art, the 50th anniversary, and basically carrying forth Nina Cummer's idea of having a museum and garden for the public to enjoy, and making sure that that mission got taken forward another 50 years into the future. And then another birthday we had this year was the West Riverside Elementary School, 100 years of continuous education in the Riverside neighborhood, and they had a big celebration in honor of that. And we're recognizing the Riverside Elementary School and Duval County Public Schools. And that brings us to residential rehabilitation.
The final category, and we will run through these quickly. Amazing jobs by these individuals.
1318 Avondale Avenue. There's always one house on the block that brings it down. This was it for Avondale. And you can see the wonderful after shots. I mean, there was just nothing to the interior of it. It had sat there vacant for years, bringing the neighborhood down, and it's beautiful today. And that was went to Paul Hoffman.
We'll go to the next one.
And then 2881 Downing Street. Again, this was really a celebration of the contractor and his wonderful team that he put together. Blair Wolverton was the one that helped with the project, or put together the project, and the contractor is Nick Humphreys, and he had his whole team come up there as part of the award ceremony.
A triumph of a job.
3222 St. John's Avenue. This is a beautiful structure over in Avondale, and had been in the same family for years and years, needed lots of work. And Terry and Bonnie Dennis did this lovely rehab, and it was on the home tour. This library here is a replication of one in the Biltmore estate, and it was part of the home tour and highlighted in Jacksonville Magazine. Some great aftershots. And then the last one is 4348 Baltic Street, and again a structure that had sat there vacant and half open to the elements, and a new team, Coveside LLC, took this over, and you can see the beautiful aftershots. And they're doing a lot of rehabilitation work nowadays. Michelle Martin and Keith Hoffus. Coveside LLC being awarded for that one.
And if someone wants to read more about all these award winners, they can go to your website, perhaps, or COJ?
I think, actually, we usually have it on the Jacksonville Historical Society website, and we will try to get it on ours. Ours is always a little under construction, but certainly anybody who has any questions about the awards are welcome to call my office.
And I'll quickly mention, since I think we have maybe a minute left, Lisa, on May the 21st, people can get another little piece of history, not huge, but piece. The First Coast Wind Ensemble will play at the Landing, 4 o'clock, and the Jacksonville Historical Society will have a small role presenting some World War II area history pertinent to Jacksonville, Florida, 4 o'clock, May 21st.
Great.
I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you for putting this award ceremony together every year for the city of Jacksonville.
Well, thank you for having me every year, because a lot of people don't get to make it to the award ceremony, and this gives them an opportunity.
Well, that's all of our show tonight, and for now, thank you, Lisa. We're history. See you next time.